The mouth of the South, Fred Smooth.
Good evening. Welcome in. We are coming to you live from FedEx Field after the 31-13 loss to the Chiefs today for Washington football. You can check us out on YouTube if you like to see that for the first hour. We'll be on the YouTube channel as well. We'll be getting to the locker room here momentarily with Julie Donaldson. We'll hear from Coach Ron Rivera. We'll hear from Taylor Heinicke and maybe some others as well. A weird day here at FedEx Field where Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, Fred, gave you a bunch of opportunities in the first half. You led at halftime, but come on. You're not going to beat the Chiefs scoring 13 points. I think we all knew that going in. And then it was a tale of two halves. You know, the Chiefs' mistakes suddenly was Mahomes' magic after, kind of being generous in the first half.
I think the narrative of this game is missed opportunities. You want to talk about missed opportunities on offense, special teams, and defense. First of all, if you win the turnover battle, you have to score off of these turnovers. Too many times we drove down the field and took three. Too many times we drove down the field and left the drive incomplete. Too many times did we get on the field and not take advantage of Pat Mahomes throwing interceptions. Like, at the end of the day, you cannot beat a good team playing average. I felt like we played average on every facet of the game today. Offense, incomplete, didn't finish drive. Special team. We can't continue to leave points on the field, Jack. How are you going to win against a team that has the capability of winning the Super Bowl? You have to, first of all, play mistake-free football. Don't kill yourself. Yep. Second of all, take advantage of their mistakes. Hey, we didn't. And then you got to go out there and make the big plays, not give them up.
All right, I'm gonna have you pick a category, and we'll start with that team here in a second. But before we do that, I want to remind you that we are brought to you by Geico. Whether you rent or own, Geico makes it sense to bundle home and auto insurance. Visit geico.com today to see how much you could save. All right, do you want to start with the defense? Or do you want to start with the quarterback and the offense? Let's start with the offense, okay?
All right.
Concern, obviously, Antonio Gibson had to leave this game twice with a shin injury. Really the first time he just went to the sideline and was back in the next series. However, later in the game did not come back. Obviously, that's a concern. Taylor Heinicke, what has made him exciting and special when he has been special for this team is his ability to make plays by using his legs. I don't know if it's the improv Taylor Heinicke. Now, I don't know if it's something that has been ingrained in him by the staff about, hey, Taylor, take care of yourself. But they're not going to win any games, and I'll say any games, with him just playing as a pocket quarterback.
Because that's not who he is.
No,
that's not his identity.
They're not going to win with him being a pocket quarterback.
He does well when
he did not run it all today.
When the play breaks down, that's when the magic starts.
Yes.
The play didn't break down because no magic started today. All right, when the play broke down, he stayed in the pocket, like you said, got suffocated, got sacked. When he got pushed out of there. And another thing that he wasn't doing early on was he's going through his reads, but he's holding the ball too long.
Yes.
I seen on a couple of play action passes. A couple of play action passes. He literally staring down Seals Jones. Mm-hmm. And he throws it to the guy beneath him when you had him the whole time. Let the ball go. I don't know if he's still processing that. He afraid to make that throw. I don't know what it is, but for Heinicke to be Heinicke, he's going to have to let that magic outside the pocket be a part of who he is.
Yeah, and I don't know, again, if they were not designed, on the read options, they're just designed gives or what. But, there was a few times, D'Angelo brought it up early in the game, and you saw it other options where they could have definitely, he could have definitely kept it himself and done really well, but he didn't. Obviously, he gave it to the running back. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just a concerted effort on their part to play the long game with him because of the injury, fear of injury or what, but he's not going to be as effective just dropping back.
Mm-mm. Well, can't do it now. Just cannot do it. Not if you're going to be a special quarterback in this league. I'm going to tell you what made Heinicke look like regular unleaded gas out there today. The fact that we had a guy that's premium unleaded gas out there. When you get a superstar like Patrick Mahomes out there on the same playing field as your quarterback, compare them. Look at them, how they play. I think because Pat Mahomes' son glows so much, he made Heinicke look like a mid-level quarterback because he has the keys to his offense. Heinicke doesn't have the keys to this offense. And you can't tell me the Chiefs' defense is the worst run-stopping defense in the league, and your plan wasn't to run the ball? Let me tell you something running does. Running starts out with this. The way to stop Patrick Mahomes, put his keister over there on the bench with Coach Reed. All right? Yep. And running does that. Another thing that running does, it beats down the defense. And now when it gets in the fourth quarter where the game was clearly lost with us, now we start to take over that transition. But like I said, if I got one kind of couple of words to sum this game up, missed opportunities. Like, they didn't come out here and show that they were 3 times better than us. They came out and showed that even though we make mistakes, we can outdo them mistakes and come back and beat you.
Well, and the other frustrating thing, and you nailed the other part I was saying about the offense. I think Scott Turner, obviously, some of the plays were just bizarre. I mean, there's some of them were really good. Obviously, the one to Seals Jones was the touchdown was wide open, but there was that one play where he's got the defense going all left, and he's got Heinicke rolling his right, and he stops, throws it back into the teeth of the defense, essentially, to Gibson.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, there's a receivers wide open in front of him. He had 2 guys he could have gone to, and I don't know if that was the design of the play or if that was Taylor's decision, but that was just bizarre.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? The play that ended the game against the Atlanta Falcons.
Right.
It's similar to that play.
But then he was looking downfield on that one, you know what I mean? And that was kind of an improv thing where he was kind of scrambling. That was a design, like, almost booted, felt like, and then he got the defense lean in, and then he went back into where all the players on the defensive side were.
Yeah, you can't throw. Yeah. First of all, rule number 1, never throw across your body.
Yeah.
I know it worked in Atlanta, but that's Atlanta. Yeah. Against a team like this, and I know they came in saying, you know what, this is the Chiefs. They the number 32 ranked defense. Right. But the Chiefs knows with this quarterback, all we got to do is make 1 or 2 plays or get 1 or 2 key stops, and we got a chance to win this game. I just think we got beat up with the pen, which I was expecting when it came to Andy Reid and his coaching staff. Physically, I thought we matched them toe-to-toe physically, but mistakes. They made mistakes. They made 1, 2, 3, 4 mistakes.
Yeah.
But they knew how to climb themselves out the hole where we didn't.
No doubt. The Chiefs did a good job there. And, look, part of the momentum killing was missing the field goal. Dustin Hopkins, he hits a 50-plus yarder earlier, which is great.
Yep.
But then he misses the one badly, the 40, and you get no points, in the second half. And it just kind of spiraled from there. And, special teams had a penalty. I mean, Tressway I don't know if he was trying to trip the guy or not. I mean, it looked like he just got knocked on his behind and his feet got kicked up, but that hurt. Obviously, I think, that was a big thing. And then defensively, as time went on, Pat Mahomes stopped turning the ball over, essentially.
Which you knew it was going to come.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be one quarter in this game where he got hot. And they weathered the storm in the first half.
Yep.
In the second half, they bend but didn't break, and then Tyreek Hill started to catch this 5-yard hitch turning into 11 yards. Kelsey started to get in the inside and eat people up. And then when you start letting them do this type of stuff, you don't think you're going to stop this team. Nobody can stop this team. And like I said, I'm asking you, Jack, did we get beat or did we give this game away? Because I felt like we had all the momentum going into the half. I felt like coming out of the half, like everything was set up for us to win this game. So as much as I am disappointed, it's a part of me to say, you know what? That score doesn't really say how this game went.
Well, I think Pat Mahomes would also, if you were a Chiefs fan, say, well, Pat Mahomes gave you 2 gifts in the red zone. Give me interceptions, which he doesn't normally do. They just didn't capitalize off it. Again, they were +3 going into half, or I guess +2 because of Gibson's fumble. Sorry, +2, and they didn't have much to show for it. I mean, they were just a field goal lead's not going to cut it against this team. And I'll say this about the Hopkins missed field goal. Going back to that for a moment,
toenail.
I almost hated the mentality there too. The fact that it was like they were okay to settle for the 3 against, again, the Chiefs. I mean, you're not going to kick field goals and beat the Chiefs.
You're just not going to do it.
It's not going to do anything for you. At that point, I'd rather you go for it and not make it, and they're still going to have to drive the ball either way than, what you did, which was to miss the field goal. I mean, either way, at that point, I don't know if 3 was – you should have been thinking 3. I think you should have handled, taking it like a 4-down mentality, like, okay, we need to get 5 yards or whatever it was. We can get, 3 here and 2 in the next play. You know what I mean? If you looked at it that way, then you could have run on 3rd down even and maybe snuck one in, on this Chiefs defense.
You don't need Las Vegas to tell you that if you score 1 touchdown against the Chiefs, you're not going to win. Like, we scored 1 touchdown against the Chiefs. Like, you're right. 3 just ain't enough. You got to know if we in here with a team that's high-scored, high-powered, sometimes I got to go up on 4th. Yeah. Sometimes I got to figure out, hey, I got to – on 2nd down, I'm trying to get in the end zone if I'm in the red zone. In the red zone, you got to really say, even though we got some field goals, really we was like 1 for 5 or 1 for 6 in the red zone today because we got 1 touchdown. And that touchdown was vital. That touchdown swung the game.
Sure.
And I can say this. The defense in the first half held them down. They held them down. But like I said, we knew it was going to be a quarter. We knew it was going to be a half where that offense turned it on. And that was the question, could we weather the storm then? And they proved that we couldn't. And it's still my guys on their back end. Bill Jackson and the rest of these guys, they have to really, really get on the same page, because if not, this stuff going to continue to happen week in and week out. And you can't win with a leaky back end.
You know, and they had some good moments with the pass rush today. Mahomes, obviously, when he gets outside, though, you know, it's almost like to your detriment if you rush him, especially if you get pressure up the middle.
Yeah.
Because he just flushes, and he can throw either way. As we saw rolling to his right with that, the little shovel pass. I mean, he just makes it up like it's backyard football, and he's done it over and over again. And that's the thing that really drives you crazy.
His guys are alert for it. Like, it's different if I'm doing this and they not ready for it. They are totally in tune with him. They're totally when he goes out key, they know I'm going to take off. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do what I got to do. And they trust that Pat will find me. When you trust that my quarterback will find me, it's easy to go play football. You're right. Sometimes it's not good to get him outside their pocket.
It's frustrating. And you saw the Bills almost didn't want to pass rush him a week ago, and obviously worked a pretty good game plan. Of course, they have the offense to match him, which helps. Yeah. Clearly, this team does not at all. So we're going to get in the locker room here in a moment. I think Julie Donaldson and Coach Ron Rivera will be coming with us here momentarily. We'll also, as we said, hear from quarterback Taylor Heinicke before we get out of here. We'll get to some phone calls as well at 301-230-0980, 301-230-0980. And we'll talk about next week at some point as well. Aaron Rodgers coming. Got to go to Lambeau. Right now, let's go to have a locker room with Julie Donaldson.
What you would ask of them. The offense actually went with the lead into the half, but you come out in the second half after that first drive, really couldn't get anything going. What was the big difference between the two halves?
Well, we didn't capitalize on the opportunities. That's what the big difference was. And, we had a chance to score. We don't. We have a chance to stop them, and we don't. I mean, that's basically what happened in those first drive 2 and drive 3.
We talk about the turnover battle. If you win it, typically we would say the game is more yours. You did win it. They did have 3 takeaways from them, unable to capitalize on that. How frustrating is that for you, and what do you say to the team for that?
Well, that's frustrating just in the fact that, that's how you beat good teams, is when you do get takeaways, you have to capitalize, and we didn't. And the biggest thing we tell the guys, hey, we're going to learn from this, we're going to grow from this, we're going to get better, and we'll go out and play and work and continue to play, and we'll see what happens.
Overall, defensively, where would you assess their performance compared to games in the past?
Well, I liked what we did in the first half. Didn't like what happened in the second half. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. One of the things that we got to get better at, obviously, is we missed some opportunities to stop them, get the ball back, and give it to our offense.
Offensively, Taylor Heinicke didn't even seem to have to scramble necessarily at all. You lose Antonio Gibson back there as well. Where does this team stand right now in offense?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that we're learning and growing. We have a young quarterback who's, in terms of playing, I think this is his 7th start. He made some mistakes, but he did some good things too as well. So we'll look at him, we'll break the tape down, and we'll see how we can get better.
All right, Coach, we wish you the best of luck. Next few games will be on the road before the bye, before we come back home and take on Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. Best of luck, Coach. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, guys, send it back up to you.
All right, thank you, Julie. There is Ron Rivera after today's game. You learn from it, as he says, 2-4. I mean, we've gone over this a million times. We all know what the schedule looks like. You got Murders Row quarterbacks. You got Brady after the bye, but before that, you got to go to Lambeau and face Aaron Rodgers. I mean, this is a tough spot that they're in right now. And offensively, you got to be more explosive than what they were today. I mean, they just got to make more plays.
And you just, like I said, me and Coach think the same. Missed opportunities and not completing stuff, not completing drives. All right, like you said, Heinicke not getting outside the pocket, making any magic. All right, the one thing about it is, ask yourself, do we have the offense that we can just sit up and go blow to blow for you? At one point, we got to have some kind of play breakdown that goes our way. Today, we didn't have that. And like I said, we weren't going to go touchdown for touchdown with this team. And then they give us a chance with the 2 turnovers. We get no points from them. And I count 3 as no points. I'm sorry. When you're playing against the Chiefs, 3 is no points. And that's what we've seen out there. We've seen and then let's not talk about Hopkins missing.
Yeah.
I think that was 42-yarder?
42 again, yeah. And that's what's frustrating. It was a 42 after, again, he drilled the 50 earlier with no problem. And it was, he popped it bad. I mean, it was like short and wide. I mean, it was ugly from there. But again, I'll go back to this. They had it was a 3rd and 2. Don't love the play call. That was short hop. It was a bad throw by Heinicke. Humphreys did everything he can to catch it. He probably would have been better off missing it. Loses yardage on it. So then it's a 4th and 6. But if it's 3rd and 2, and again, you're down here, and you got to be thinking touchdown, 4-down territory if need be. Why not just jam it up in there, on the 3rd down play and try to run for it? And then if you don't get it, okay, that's fine. We're going for it on 4th down anyway. I don't know. I just didn't. That part of it, I'm just not getting. It was almost like it was okay if we, get a field goal. And then, again, you're throwing behind the chains on 3rd down and expecting, everything to block perfectly for Humphries.
That was their screenplay, right?
Yeah,
that's
the screenplay.
And which the only thing about it is I can't get mad of the play call because usually running a screen in the red zone draw usually works because no coach or no defense thinks you'll do it in the red zone. Not mad about the call, mad about the execution. And that's the key with this team. Some plays are totally called right, and the pure execution of those plays is not there. And you can tell what team executes and what team doesn't because of the win-loss record that we have right now.
And I'll say this, they missed some opportunities today. Terry had a rare drop, and at the 50-50 ball down here, I'd like to get a better idea if he thinks he should have got that or not. It seemed like he jumped early.
I would say he should have dived laterally, not vertically.
Right. And again, the rookie, Danami Brown, he made some plays today, but he had that one that that's
on the sideline.
That's what he made famous. What he made him famous in North Carolina for, and we just haven't seen it at the pro level outside of the the preseason game, the one shot there.
I think he's finding out that the DBs in the league are a lot faster than the ones he had in college.
True.
I think he's finding out that the DBs in the league are a lot stickier, no matter how fast they are, than the DBs in college, and he has to learn how to complete plays. Like he knows to get open, but not complete plays.
All right, let's go down to the locker room. It's Julie Donaldson. Julie?
Taylor, you go into the half up 13-10. What happened in that second half for you guys?
Yeah, we just couldn't move the ball. Whether we, shot ourselves in the foot with penalties or just couldn't convert 3rd downs, just wasn't good football for us. So again, we'll go look at the film tomorrow. We got to make these adjustments and get better throughout the week.
Coming out that first drive you did have for the second half, you're at 3rd and 2. Take us through that play? Kind of what was the call and what happened?
Yeah, so we got in the ball quick there, and we called a run play, but throughout the week we were talking about if there was pressure off the nickel, if the nickel came, kind of throw the circle there, and I think they brought 0 on that play, and the nickel kind of got in the way of my throwing lane, so it was a bad throw. If I could go back, probably just give the ball, and hopefully AG can get those 2 yards. So again, little things like that we need to talk throughout the week and come up with a plan, and again, we just got to be better.
Seemed like a lot of momentum kind of went away after that. I think you just punted a couple of times, missed a field goal after that as well. You weren't scrambling a lot. Usually we look down and we say, okay, if the play breaks down, we're used to you getting out and running. What were they doing that limited that from you this week?
Yeah, sometimes I got penetration, I had to step up, and there would always be a D tackle or someone just waiting there where I couldn't get through and take off. So they did a pretty good job containing me in that regard. And again, that the whole running lane stuff is something that just happens naturally, and I thought they did a pretty good job of taking that away.
How big is it losing Antonio Gibson in the game as well?
Yeah, it's huge. He's a great player, and when he's on the field, big things can happen. So hopefully he can get better. Hopefully he'll be ready for Green Bay, and we'll go from there.
There are a lot of adjustments that this offense has had to make through the entire season, especially you coming in and taking over as starter. Where is this offense right now?
I don't know. We've scored a good amount of points in previous weeks. These last 2 weeks we've kind of stalled out. So again, we'll go look at the film and get something together. I haven't lost any confidence in this offense. I think we're a really good offense. We just have to get the ball rolling and get it back together. So hopefully we can do that against Green Bay.
All right. Thank you, Taylor. Best of luck up in Green Bay. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Julie. There's Taylor Heinicke with Julie Donaldson after today's loss. So he talked about that 3rd down play we're just touching on. He said that was a check. They had the opportunity to check to it. It depended on what the defense was doing. He said, bad. It was a bad throw, obviously, to put Humphries in a tough spot.
I would say, obviously, it was a bad throw.
Yeah.
Like, we can't keep going back and forth on we should have did this, should have did that. That's the talk of a loser. At the end of the day, I should have did a lot when I was in high school that I didn't do. But I learned from my mistakes, and what I'm not seeing from this team is learning from their mistakes. We can't repeat the same mistakes time after time. Think about this. When William Jackson got beat on that fade route, he actually still got a penalty on it.
Yeah.
The one thing I was good at, if I got a penalty, you damn sure not catching the ball. Because now it ain't worth it anymore. So these are the things they have to really learn how to do, man, and it's frustrating. I know it is, and I know it's frustrating to the fans. I know it is. But This group on defense has not learned how to play together yet, and it's clear.
Let's save the defense for the other side. All right, Chiefs 31-13 over Washington today. We'll take a timeout. You're listening to the Washington football team.
All right, here we go. Miller in motion. Wait, is that a baby on the field?
It looks like it, Craig.
And the defensive linemen are playing peekaboo. I've never seen anything like that before.
Harris now appears to be burping the baby.
That's a great moment right there.
Ref going to the rule book here.
Well, wait a minute. Harris is off to the races.
We don't need any more trick plays.
Touchdown!
But we could all use more ways to save.
Are you kidding me?
It's going to be a long bus ride home for the defense.
Switch to Geico for more ways to save.
It's about grit. It's about guts. It's about winning. It's about where we come from and what we can be. It's about DC and celebrating our football team. With the Washington football team scratcher from the DC Lottery, you can win up to $50,000, as well as some exciting second chance opportunities. And you can continue your winning experience at DCILottery.com.
One of the reasons we also have them here with us tonight is because both of them played with, well, the legendary Sean Taylor. It's the Buffalo game.
Yeah.
And I have this picture in my office. It's the 10th man game. You took the field with one less man to represent him.
Yep.
Tell me about what you remember from that moment in that game.
I think Greg Williams just preparing us for the moment. He didn't tell us during the week. He told us a little bit before the game, this is what we're about to do. Reed Dowdy, I want you to sit on the sideline. We're going to take the original starting 11 out there, and Sean's still with us. And we took it out there, and the bad part is them damn Bills, they didn't care. they didn't care. They still tried to score on us. You would think that they have a level of respect. Like, we're telling you, we're going to come out with 10. They're like, okay. Well, we're going to run a play just for 10 people.
This is awesome. I can just, have a flashback in my mind of we're in Green Bay, cold as heck.
Yeah.
And Shanti got an interception, deep ball off of far.
Yeah.
He taking it back. I'm right there trying to block from him. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, he tossed me the ball.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
what you doing?
For everything.
What are you doing?
That's what he do. And he almost had 5 interceptions in that game.
Official Washington football team postgame show. Here are your hosts, Scott Jackson and Fred Smoot.
All right, welcome back to FedEx Field. 31-13 Chiefs win it today over Washington. We will get to some phone calls here in a bit. We got more in the locker room coming up, 301-230-0980. While we have a minute here, let's get to the final numbers brought to you by Novak, keeping life bright. You mentioned earlier, Fred, tale of two halves. Obviously Washington was up at the break, but it was all Kansas City in the second half. Kansas City ends up with the 29 first downs to 15, 11 of 17 on third down. I believe they were 7 for 7 at one point. They went for 7 straight third downs. They converted towards the end of the game. Washington 7 of 14. Total yards, Kansas City on the day. The big advantage there as well with 499 to 276 to Washington. The Washington rushing attack just 94 yards despite 4.9 per carry. And, this is going to be one of those things that's dissected this week. Did you abandon the run too early?
Yes, you did.
Because I was a little surprised at one point to see how unbalanced the play sheet was, even when they were leading, to thinking about the run versus the pass. So that's certainly something that's going to be talked about this week. Taylor Heinicke, who was just on with Julie, 24 of 39, 182 yards, a touchdown, an interception, the one late in the game. No rushing yards for him, as we talked about. Shocking. McKissick on the day led the team in rushing with 45 yards and 8 carries. Again, Gibson, 10 carries, 44 yards before leaving with a shin injury. Patterson, just 1 carry, 5 yards. McKissick, your leading receiver, 8 for 65. Seals-Jones, 4 for 58, including the 39-yard touchdown. McLaurin just 4 for 28. And that was certainly a problem today, too. Not enough Scary Terry involved in the offense.
Not enough anything today. Not enough completing drives. Not enough taking advantage of the turnovers. Like, that's the one thing that really makes me mad in this scenario, because I really do feel if you take advantage of those turnovers, you can put it to where now you make the Kansas City Chiefs one-dimensional. If they go and be one-dimensional, mean they only can drop back and pass the ball, now the pass rush get the tee off and show us what they got. Never got to that point. You're right. We did abandon the run too easy, too quick. What did I tell you the run does? Keep Patrick Mahomes over there on the bench, man. That's how you stop.
The two things I said this week that I would like to see is don't settle for field goals.
We did.
We did. And the other part, which you just said, was just run the ball and obviously keep Pat Mahomes standing on the sidelines of the ball cap, and that didn't happen either. Which is very frustrating. Now, here we're going to talk about defense, and I know you got a lot of thoughts in the secondary.
I got a lot of thoughts.
But let's start with something positive.
What?
Jamin Davis today.
All right.
He was out there a lot more. He led the team in tackles along with him and Cole Holcomb. He had 11. Holcomb had a great game, by the way. Every time he was matched up with Kelsey, did a good job. Jumped the route on one. Of course, Holcomb forced the fumble as well. He had a sack in the game, but Holcomb had 10 tackles. But Jamin Davis had 11 tackles today.
Yep.
And he looked fast on a couple of occasions, which we had not said to this point, which is important because he's going to have to play at a high level.
Hey, God bless America, Jack. That's all I can say. Hey, our first-round draft pick, they let him play.
Yeah.
And he go out there and he fills the stat line up. Like, he can only get better. And some people don't learn from the sideline. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just like Mr. Garvey, the substitute teacher. Now, Mr. Garvey can come in 2 days out of the week. But the days that Mr. Garvey there, I don't learn a damn thing, Jack. You know why? Because the substitute is not there to teach the curriculum. He there to fill in the gaps until my real teacher come back. And that's what I'm saying with Davis. Let him play. Let him take his bumps now. Let him take his bruises now. Let him learn the speed of the game now. Let him learn how to take the A gap, the B gap, the C gap. I want to also see him blitz more. I think he's
We saw him do that today on the one occasion. Looked good.
Yeah, I want to see him blitz more because I think the more you get him these free, easy plays, the more it builds his confidence too. But you're right. Out of all today, and there was some bad spots.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, but we found one right under the armpit, and it was Jamin Davis.
There you go. That's what we're here for, to find something in the armpit. We're on YouTube if you want to check us out here as we come to you live from the stadium after this one, 31-13 Chiefs. So we found the lone positive, or two positives from the defense. Let's go to Julie Donaldson right now, back in the locker room. Julie?
Chase, you guys win the turnover battle. You win kind of like that first half. The second half, things just don't seem to go. How frustrating is a loss like this?
It's a little frustrating. Shut them down in the first half, and the second half I don't know what wasn't clicking. So we just got to go back and look at it for real. I mean, I'm not sure right now.
What do you say to the guys when something like that goes? Like the first half, the defense is playing better. He's under pressure. Then the second half, it just seems like you can't seem to get anything. You can't get to him at all.
The only thing I was saying was just keep playing hard. I did myself. I don't look behind me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what, Ted's doing over there. He don't know what I'm doing. But the only thing I feel like we can preach is just keep going hard.
What is the challenge of getting to a guy like Pat Mahomes? You were able to get a couple of sacks there on him, knowing that he has that ability to just make uncanny throws, use his legs if necessary.
Great player. They did a lot. They do a lot of things on that offense to put Pat Mahomes in a place, where he likes. They had chippers today. It was. I wish we could have got down.
You win the turnover battle. How frustrating is it to come out and not get the points from that?
It is what it is. I ain't about to talk about the offense. All I know is on defense, we should have done better.
Where would you say the defense is right now, knowing the struggles that we've had?
To be honest, we really up and down. Because if you look at the first half, we was playing like we were supposed to play. And then, I don't know what happened second half. We just got to correct it.
All right, good luck. We know a lot will be done in the film room. Thank you, Chase. Yeah. Be on the road next. All right, guys, send it back up to you in the booth.
All right, thank you, Julie. There's Chase Young. Did have a sack today, a couple pressures as well. But you heard him. I mean, it's tail two halves. What's the difference? How can they fix it? These are the things that they have to try to correct going into against Aaron Rodgers next week. Ooh.
Hey, he was truthful. Mm-hmm. And what he said was very true. We up and down. Yeah. Sometimes we come out and we play like the defense everybody thought we was going to be. And sometimes we come out act like we ain't never played football before. And I think that what frustrates the team. That what frustrates the coaches. That what frustrates the fans. All right, at the end of the day, because once you get the fans a taste of who you are, they expect you to be there every Sunday. When I played here with Greg Williams, they were like, all right, we're a defense-led team. We knew we couldn't come out here and not show up any Sunday because our offense wasn't high-powered. We got to keep the game tight, and we got to keep the game scored. And see, here goes another thing, too. This defense, because the offense is not scoring a lot of points, never get to play loose. All right, when I say loose, we're the lead. Right. Like I said, we ain't seen this pass rush because this pass rush ain't never passed rush with a lead. All right, so we play different on defense. All right, when it's 3-3, I'm tight. I'm not jumping no balls. I'm not taking no chance unless it's clearly there. I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to keep it tight. And that's what they're doing. And in that process of doing it, they overthinking it. Like they say, you think long, you think wrong. And if you think wrong, you go home. And we went home with a loss today.
Yeah, no doubt. That's again, but part of that, too, is the defense when you are out on the field first, as they were today, or, where they got there the first time, I should say, you got to get a stop. It would be great if the offense on their first drive could take it down the field and score today instead of going, 3 and out or whatever it ended up being.
And now I can play loose on defense and say, let's go make some plays instead of make sure the other team don't make no plays. And right now, our defense is playing for the other team not to make no plays, not for them to make no plays. And they gave us plays. Patrick Mahomes threw 2 ducks right to us. And we turned around and got as many points as a dead man. And see, that's the problem.
What about, let me ask you this, the secondary, you touched on earlier, there's still these big plays, these gaffes or what have you, but, to some degree they limited them, right? They didn't get beat over the top for an 80-yarder by Hill today. They tried to keep it in front of them. That philosophy's fine. I mean, that's what the Bills did. Again, this is going to be the game plan for anybody who plays the Chiefs.
Yep, until they start running the ball. If they start running,
but I was going to say, it also, Williams was pretty effective today. And obviously some of those yardage came late when they were way ahead. But, I thought early, that first drive, I think they kind of surprised Washington a little bit when they got some chunk runs off that.
And I see that's what they thinking about now. How can we get back to making our big plays?
Mm-hmm.
All right, how they made big plays, a lot of that came from play action. All right, well, you can't play action if you're not running the ball. And they're just simple. You can't play action if you ain't running the ball.
All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll get to some more from this game. We'll get to some phone calls at 301-230-0980. It's Chiefs 31, Washington 13. And, yes, the road game before the bye week at the Green Bay Packers next week. We'll get to that as well.
I got a good feeling about it, Jack.
Official post-game show. You do you? Okay.
Yes, I do.
I'll have what he's having. This is the Washington Football Team Radio Network.
An active lifestyle means you never stop moving. That's why only Theragun devices are designed to release your body's deepest muscle tension, so you can do the things you love. Land that pose, hit that final rep, taste success, and do it all over again. You only have one body. Make it a TheraBody.
Hey Washington fans, Alex Strimo from Box is here to tell you that you don't have to wait for the big game anymore to get in on the action. With Box's free-to-play games, you can pick boxes every day and win huge prizes across all your favorite sports. All you have to do is pick a box, match your numbers, and win. So download the app now and start playing today. Games are completely free, and players can win official Washington Football Team merchandise and other great prizes all season long. Boxes, it's anyone's game.
All right, this right here is a picture of all the young guys that started on Andy Reid's original coaching staff. And if you look at this picture, there's 9 of us in it, and 8 of the 9 have been head coaches in the NFL. But it was really a chance for us to kind of get back together again and really kind of laugh about a lot of things and tell a bunch of lies, because those stories have most certainly gained a lot of ground and a little something extra each time you talk about it. But I keep this because, this was Andy gave me my first position, and these are the guys that I started my coaching career with as a positional coach. And these are all great guys that that I'm very fond of, guys that I love like brothers. And, of course, Andy being a surrogate father to all of us is something that really helped us as we've all gone through this experience of coaching in the NFL.
The official Washington football team postgame show. Here are your hosts, Scott Jackson and Fred Smoot.
2nd and 20 at the 44. A little reverse to Hardman on a pitch. Gets some speed. Holcomb makes the play. The ball is out. And Washington has recovered at the 32-yard line. Cole Holcomb, tremendous play. Recovery by Curl. Turnover, Kansas City.
Is this what you have? Turnover to turnover? Okay, this crowd loves it.
I know it looks like Kendall Fuller's in on that play as well. I mean, just a great job to respond by this Washington defense.
We had again.
That ball is out.
Correction. It was a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Washington.
That ball is out before Hardman goes down. That's why you heard the crowd cheer. That is going to be the second turnover of the half, and Washington's defense is up and moving here.
Welcome back. Official Washington postgame show. Chiefs, though, they played the second half. Washington didn't. 31-13 the final. And Cole Holcomb with the strip there, and he is your defensive player of the game, brought to the Virginia Department of Health. And the Washington football team tackling COVID together. Cole Holcomb on the day, the 10 tackles, had the sack, had the strip as well, couple pass defense as well. Pretty good job on Travis Kelce overall for this defense today. But again, Chiefs beating you today. Maybe not the big play, but it's more like the paper cuts, right?
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Yes,
is the same as one big hole
still
in
death.
your chest.
Yeah, it's death either way you look at it,
It's
right?
still death. And Cole Holcomb, he about to earn a nickname because I don't usually give guys nicknames until they grow on me and go make some plays. And I'm gonna have to come up with something good for him because he got a spicy type attitude. It's gonna be similar to what I gave the coach old running back. McCaffrey. I thought Derry Sanders was a great name for him. I thought that was great for him. I got to come up with something for Cole Holcomb.
All right, offensive player of the game brought to you by Eureka, proud sponsor of the Washington football football team. Visit eurekavs.com. The offensive player of the game is a little slim pickings today.
Slim.
But we'll go J.D. McKissick. Led the team in rushing and receiving yards at 110 combined. Total yards today. That was a big third down he converted to. That before, I guess it was 2 plays before the touchdown pass. When it was 3rd and 16, it was like, there's no way they're getting this. And then he's swinging out to him, and he made a couple people miss.
I think it's safe to say J.D. McKissick is in the right spot, doing all the right things. All I can say is get him the ball more. And don't force your running back to go out there and play when you know he's not healthy. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about that because we get to at the injury report, the situation going into, again, you have one more game, then the bye week. And a part of you says, if Gibbs can just suck it up for another week, we'll get through. Or there's part of you says, you know what, no, let's get this guy 2 weeks to heal and see where we are coming out of the bye week. Because you do have McKissick, and I'll be honest with you, there's a curiosity factor, and maybe I'll feel stupid after seeing it. That kind of wants to see Jared Patterson, get 15 carries in a game just to see what might happen.
That's because you love the underdog. And right now, he's that underdog. And he's one of those guys, once it all clicks and he have that one big game, ain't no telling what the roof is with this guy. I understand what you're saying. You want to see him get in, touch the ball. I want to see him on screen plays. I want to see him on some draw plays. I want to see him on third down. But it's hard to do it when J.D. McKissick has been so damn good.
Right. Well, that's like if you just went into the week saying, hey, here's our 2 top running backs. You're going to have to elevate somebody for the third. We're just going to – Antonio's not going to be ready.
Yeah.
Instead of doing this thing where he starts and stops, and this is what happened with Curtis Samuel, right?
He plays 12 plays a game. He's not helping you.
Right. And he had some good runs out there, what have you. But again, obviously this guy's dealing with a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And he goes out with a shin again, and we'll see what the official word ends up being this week. But that's the injury report brought to you by Innova, the official health system of the Washington football team. Learn more at innova.org. So,
and by the way, this game had a lot of nostalgia. Of course, I got to see baby Jackie, and she's not a baby anymore. She's taller than me.
Yeah,
I got to see Sean's family. I got to see Pete, his dad. That was fun. I got to see all the old geezers from the past, from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Ray Brown played in 3 different generations. He ain't know what to line up with. He played with the 2000s.
Yeah, where did he line up?
He lined up with us in the 2000s. So it was good seeing the fellas, man, back in the place, and we need more of that. We need more of that. If this team wants to know how to win, we got a team in the 90s, players that can sit here and tell you how to get the job done. See, that's how you pass down and learn from the past and learn from history. You got to hang around history. All right, so we need to do a better job as an organization of bringing these guys back, not just for one game, bringing them back all the time so they can share some of that knowledge they got.
So, they did the Sean Taylor ceremony today, and there was some strange things that happened in the first half. You're like, okay, maybe.
Is he putting his touch on this guy?
Right. But, just not enough of it, obviously, in the second half. And then, again, you can't play for field goals against this team. You got to be explosive. You got to be explosive.
First thing
you got to be really. It's got to be a mentality going in, and Andy Reid has that mentality basically every week. Mm-hmm. And granted, he's got the league's MVP behind him. I'm not, Pat Mahomes, for all the shortcomings the Chiefs are talking about coming into the week, and they're not good at this or that, I'm like, they still got Pat Mahomes, all right? And we saw it happen, and this franchise obviously hasn't had a quarterback like that, and this is what's been frustrating. Part of the frustration here, clearly, is trying to find that guy. But anyway.
Hey, don't forget that Coach Gibbs won 3 Super Bowls
with 3 different guys.
3 different quarterbacks.
But as you know, the game now is so tilted towards you having, if you have that kind of quarterback, it's going to be easier for you to be successful.
It is.
Because the way the rules are and the way it's so slanted towards the passing game. And now that all being said, toughness in old school can still work out okay, as you saw today up in Baltimore. Yeah. As the Ravens smashed the Chargers and Justin Herbert. They look very mortal. Right.
Speaking of old school, I was talking to Jeff Boxley last night. We had a 63-minute alcohol-infused conversation.
Boy, you should have taped that. That should have been the locker room show for this week
that
you guys are doing.
I love me some Bostic. And me and Bostic was sitting there talking. And he brought that up to me. He is the first center to snap the ball to 3 different Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. He's the only one in NFL history to do that. All right, so that just tells you, man, sometimes these Iron Men from the past can give you a view. Just like I didn't know Joe Theismann used to return punts.
Oh, yeah.
All right? Come on. Why would I know that?
He didn't talk about punting, though, did he?
No, he talked about returning punts and the fact that he
punted it one time.
10 yards of return.
Right. No, that was good. The punting itself wasn't so hot in Soldier Field.
But he also played up back, too.
Yeah, he did a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, I think I said we have one more game before the bye week. That would be incorrect. 2 more games before the bye week. One more Hall of Fame quarterback before the bye week and one on the other side of it. My bad.
You tell lies all the time, Jack.
I'm just trying to give people something to look forward to, and again, or maybe I was looking forward to myself.
Yeah, you were trying to run away from the truth. That's what you were
trying to get an extra week off.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back and get the phone calls 301-230-0980. Before we do that, though, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Washington Football Team Radio Network.
This is the official home of the Washington Football Team. WTEM Washington, WJFK HD2 Manassas, the Team 980, and Odyssey Station.
All right, we are back with you here. Official post-game show. Scott Jackson and Fred Smoot from FedEx Field Press Box. We'll take a timeout. On the other side, we'll get to your phone calls, 301-230-0980. You can check us out on YouTube. Fred has a really cool Washington pullover on that if he takes off at some point today, I will take it home in my backpack.
And I'm rocking my new beard. No shave November. I usually get my beard.
You get a little head start.
Yeah, so I'm Smoocher's Apple right now. That's
all right, we'll come back. We'll get to your calls. You're listening to the Washington Football Team.
Another round.
What a night. I'm gonna head home now.
Mission call for a ride. That's what we're doing.
I'm fine. I can drive. I'm fine.
Just calm down. Come on, man. None of us are fit to drive.
How about we get you a safe ride home, all right?
All right, here we go. Miller in motion. Wait, is that a baby on the field?
It looks like it, Craig.
And the defensive linemen are playing peekaboo. I've never seen anything like that before.
Harris now appears to be burping the baby.
That's a great moment right there.
Ref going to the rule book here.
Well, wait a minute. Harris is off to the races.
We don't need any more trick plays.
Touchdown!
But we could all use more ways to save.
Are you kidding me?
It's going to be a long bus ride home for the defense.
Switch to Geico for more ways to save.
This game is going to be special, not just because we get to, see maybe a shootout, go up against Pat Mahomes, but it is homecoming week also for the Washington football team. And that means a lot of greats that played for this franchise will be back in town at that game. But on top of that, they're retiring the number 21 jersey. Sean Taylor's jersey is going to go up to the rafters, not to be worn again. Tana, you played 3 seasons with him. Mm-hmm. Tell us one of your favorite Sean Taylor stories.
Folks always kind of link us because of the Miami thing. And Sean played with my brother in Miami. I'm much older than Sean and Clinton. Clinton I got a chance to play 2 years with. But the thing that always stood out to me about Sean, when I got over here in 2005, I was looking forward to playing with him just off of what my brother spoke on, his college experience with him. And when you watch him on the field, he was a different person off the field. People thought that he wore that same tenacity all around the world. Like when he left the football field, thought he went home being that player that you had to be scared of. No, he was a soft-spoken, good dude, and I used to just laugh about some of the conversations we shared. Him especially talking about different things about his daughter. I got a story that stood out to me on the plane. This is like probably one of the first trips, and everyone at this time in 2005, the iPod was just starting to get popular. So everybody got this big old white iPod, and I have my iPod, and I look over to Sean. He got a Walkman with the little airplane earphones in the Walkman, and I'm like, bro, you have a CD, one disc CD Walkman. He's like, yeah, man. And T-Pain is a pretty good singer too. And I'm sitting there like, Sean Taylor knocking people's head off. And he's listening to T-Pain, and he's telling me how good T-Pain is. And me and Porter died laughing about it. And Porter just laughed like, man, that's Sean.
The Washington Football Team Postgame Show. Here are your hosts, Scott Jackson and Fred Smoot.
3rd and 5 at the 9:20 to go here. Kansas City's got Williams in the backfield, Mahomes in the gun. Hardman comes in motion, joins 2 wide receivers to the right. Chase Young coming off the edge, forces Mahomes to get out of the pocket. He's going to run for this thing. Gets to the 15 and out of bounds near the 20. He was able to beat the pressure once again. That is a gain of 11. First down, Kansas City.
Deron Payne was chasing him down.
Yeah, Deron Payne was chasing him. Chase Young's really the one who kind of flushes him out the pocket a little bit with Matt Ioannidis. But what Chase needs to do there, when he reaches the level of the quarterback, and I know we've had these discussions before in the season, when you reach the level of the quarterback, it's not okay to just keep running past him. At some point, put that foot in the ground, redirect, and come back downhill, because you know that quarterback has to escape out the pocket that way.
All right, welcome back. One of the magical Mahomes second-half plays, 301-230-0980. Of course, Bram, D'Angelo, and Julie on the call there.
Yep.
As you heard all afternoon long, the team heads to Lambeau next week, then to Denver, then the bye week, and then, of course, Tom Brady after that. But one thing at a time here. We'll keep dissecting this one with you on the phones.
Well, 301-230-0980. In between the Hall of Famers, you got a Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, you do, but they got a good defense. Granted, they've been some injuries going on. They've got, they're playing the Raiders right now. I believe the Raiders are actually winning 10-7 in the first week without John Gruden. Mm-hmm. By the way, the 2021 season and single-game Washington Football Team tickets are available now. Visit WashingtonFootball.com/tickets. Of course, Brady, the next home game here, I believe Russell Wilson not far after that. Maybe if he's back. I don't know if he'll be back.
Well, I think
Russell will actually be out, right?
I've been saying we'll still have some Geno Smith to take on, all right?
Or Cam Newton. Who knows?
All right. There you go with the Cam Newton, huh?
Cam Newton is fully vaccinated now and available. I saw that story this week. All right.
Yeah, he's smart enough to get out his own way and not pull a Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. 301-230-0980. Chris What's happening? You're up on the official Washington Postgame show. What's going on, Chris? Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Good, Chris. How are you?
We good, brother. How you feeling?
It would have been better if the game would have been
Not
30
too bad.
minutes.
Yeah, true. Listen, I love y'all guys' show. Fred Smoot, bro, let me give you your energy that you bring every day, the positive energy that you just bring. I love it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that fuels me as a fan to know that you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't even still playing, and you got more passion than half of these fans to call a radio station and just give up on the team every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to sit in Sports Talk Radio 10 hours of my day to be negative on this team. Granted, we're not playing well right now, but you know what I'm saying? We don't have nothing to do with the stuff that's going off the field. These players, granted, they're not playing well right now, and the defense is hurting, and we're not completing a lot of stuff, but they still need us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still need fan support. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to bail, just bail now. You know what I'm saying?
And see, thank you for saying that, because that's what people do. When they don't need you, they hovering around you the whole time like a fly. All right, but when you do need them, everybody turn their back and tuck tail and run. All right, this is a good thing about a relationship. You got to enjoy the good times and you got to enjoy the bad times. But let me tell you something. It takes no energy to enjoy them good times. But when them bad times come, that's when that character check come in.
If you're on YouTube, you'd have seen Fred projectile spitting on the screen, by the way. And that's my computer, by the way, that you're spitting on.
Lucky your computer is waterproof.
All right. Well, listen, I'll tell you what, Chris, I don't know. Were you at the game today?
You got to bail now. You know what I'm saying?
And see, thank you for saying that, because that's what people do.
Thank you. We're going to have to drop Chris. He's playing us in delay. We can't do that. But hey, I was going to say to you, I actually thought today, coming in, saw a lot of Chiefs fan, which you'd expect. I mean, we knew that coming in.
They travel.
But I actually thought it was not like we've had, like last week, the Saints fans were much more vocal.
It's literally black painted all over.
Yeah. And I actually thought this crowd was pretty charged up to want to be excited for this team.
Yep.
And they had, obviously they had half of it. In the second half, didn't get enough opportunities to do it. But I thought what the group that was here was more pro-Washington, which was good, because I wasn't sure. With the Chiefs, you know how the bandwagon factor works.
Yep.
Plus, they're an older franchise. They got a lot of fans. And,
that reactivated after Pat Mahomes coming.
Right.
So, and then winning that Super Bowl. Now you got bandwagons on there. Right. And the one thing I can say about
they're a fun team to watch. I mean, I love watching them when they're not playing the team that I care about.
Yeah, and here's the thing about it, though. The one thing that we have to understand the situation, you got to understand the environment the situation is happening in. We are in the nation's capital. We recruit the best out of all 50 states. You understand? So guess what? We're going to have other fans pack our stadium sometime, because this is a transit city. This is an international city. So I understand why it's always Chiefs fans, New Orleans Saints fans. This is one of those places. But if we in Dallas, it shouldn't be none but Dallas or Washington fans. That's just usually how it go. But here, you're going to get a little bit of everything.
All right, Earl, go ahead. You're next up here on the official postgame show. How you doing?
Hey, good afternoon. Disappointed again, once again. And I'm not going to be like the last call. I'm just going to be honest. You got to be honest too. I love this team, and I want them to win. The idea is to win. I don't know if Ron is just thinking about the rebuild stage or whatever, but to continuously to go ahead and play 2-6 every Sunday, almost 100% of the snaps, and he's constantly missing tackles and making mistakes. A lot of them making mistakes. Fuller, a lot of them. And you got DeShazier Everett, you got Reeves on the practice squad. You won't even entertain the thought of even playing them. It's just completely, malpractice, you know what I'm saying? And so as a fan, not only do you get frustrated, you get angry with him. And that's who I lay everything at. It's at Ron Rivera. That's why I lay all this blame is at him. The players, they're not doing their job is because he allows them not to do their job. And he allows them to go out there and make the same mistakes and not holding anybody accountable. And so this is the position we're in, man. And so, it's kind of frustrating.
I think Ron is more of a disciplinarian, military-minded. I think you know how it is when you raise kids. You got to keep telling them the same thing over and over and over again.
2-6 playing?
Well, 2-6 actually played close to the line of scrimmage today, don't you think, Jack?
Yeah, look, he got posterized one time. I know what you're talking about. But I'll be honest with you. If you go back and watch this game, it wasn't his breakdowns.
No. They played him truly as a linebacker.
They played him more as a linebacker today. Some of this stuff that got thrown in front of him or behind him was when they were in zone. It wasn't on him necessarily. Look, we've had other weeks, last week being one of them, where you could really hammer that point. I don't think today's one of those days, frankly, at first blush. But again, maybe if I go back and watch this, I'll change my mind.
Well, one more question. It's going to be hard to attract free agents. I'm telling you. They're going to look at this and be like, hey, man, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be hard. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be real hard.
You are a very intelligent person, but I ain't thank you for a person that lied to themselves because you lied to yourself. Let me tell you what people don't turn down. Money. If I tell you I'm giving you $1 million to move to the middle of Oklahoma, you'll be in Oklahoma tomorrow. All right, let me tell you something. They ain't going to never stop turning down money. Oh, if we want whoever we want, once we offer them that contract, they will sign that contract and they will play football here because it ain't nothing but 31 other teams or 31 other choices anyway. Now, we got to worry about that. We can attract free agents. The question is, can we get the right free agents? That's the big question.
Yeah, that's true. All right, they're kind of frugal, but I agree.
All right, buddy, thanks for the call, Earl. All right, 301-230-0980, 301-230-0980. If you're on the line, hang in there. We'll get to some more calls coming up on the other side. We're also going to be on YouTube for about another 7 minutes if you want to join us there as well. This is the Washington Football Team Radio Network.